Hello and welcome to my channel where I talk all things product. Today I'm going to talk about a very secret recipe. Yes, I'm going to talk about how to crack any product interview. Yes, you got it right. How to crack any product interview. This is a part of a 3-video series in which in the first episode I'm going to talk about product sense questions. So different organizations design and conduct the product interviews slightly differently. But if you look at it broadly, it can be divided into 3 kinds. One is the product sense question. The second ones are the analytical or execution style questions. And the third ones are case studies, which are typically given to you as a homework, or you can take it home and bring it back after a couple of days of time. So today we are going to talk about product sense, but how do you even know that the question which is being asked to you is a product sense question, right? Typically it comes in the shape of, so tell me which is your favorite product and why do you like that, and what improvements would you like to do in this product? Or they can ask you a particular product, say Google Maps or Uber or WhatsApp or Zomato, and tell you and ask you that what do you want to change in this particular product. A lot of times there are physical products or hardware related products which are also asked. So a lot of times I have seen questions like, how would you design a refrigerator for kids? Or how would you design world's best microwave oven? Or how would you design world's best park where kids play and all? So these are all seemingly non-product related question, you may argue, but the core which they are trying to test, which is your ability to empathize with the user, to understand the context and come up with creative solutions, remain the same, whether it's a digital product or a physical product. So let us try and see what is the interviewer trying to see in you or trying to judge you on. There are primarily 4 things which the interviewer is trying to see. First, do you get the context of the problem? Are you able to empathize and understand in which context the product is going to be used? Who are the users? What is the segment which is going to use it? And what are the pain points which you are trying to solve when you're trying to create this product? That is paramount. Second, amongst all the other segments and use cases and pain points which you have come up with, are you able to prioritize the right set of segments and the right set of pain points, giving rationale and giving logics and maybe data to support your decision? So prioritization. Third, are you then able to come up with a creative solution? So this is where your ability to design, and this is where your ability to think about the solution which is practical and which can be implemented comes into being. Fourth, are you then able to come up with the matrix or the set of matrix, say the North Star matrix, the counter matrix, other matrix, against which you will judge your product intervention? So those are the 4 things primarily which the interviewer is trying to see in your solution. So apart from these 4 things, there are a couple of more important things which I've seen making or breaking the interview. See, practically nobody is expecting you to come up with a solution which will change the face of Gmail or Uber or WhatsApp, right? That's not humanly possible. So don't think that you will be able to surprise or amaze the interviewer by giving an idea which will just blow them. What they're looking for essentially is, do you have a structure in mind? Do you have a method which you follow? So focus on this keyword structure. You have to actually follow a method in solving whatever problem is given to you, and it can be anything. So don't go for flamboyancy, don't go for very creative solutions which you think will just amaze the interviewer. The interviewer is actually looking for a structure. That's very, very important. Second, is pause and do ask questions. I think we as Indians have been brought up in a way in our schools, at home, that asking questions is a bad thing, as if only stupid people or students who do not understand things in the first go ask questions. And that is in our hearts and in our minds. And we kind of hesitate in asking questions. But in product management interview questions, you have to ask questions. So don't just start answering something the second you hear the question. Take some time. Ask clarifying questions if you haven't understood it. Even if you have understood it, just paraphrase that in your own words so that you're not missing the context. Ask for some time, 15 seconds, half a minute, to just jot down your points on a paper. Ask for this. And then reiterate the structure which you're going to follow in the answer. So you can say, first I'm going to look at the different segments or the different use cases. Then I'm going to pick up a particular segment to work upon. Then I'm going to work on the solution. And then I'm going to look at, say, the matrix. So just lay out this entire structure so that the interviewer knows what to expect in the next 20-25 minutes. And if the interviewer believes something needs to be changed, he or she will point it out. And that will also help you to structure your discussion and to structure your answers in a better way. Third, you have to keep it engaging. Remember, it's not a monologue. It's not one of those interviews where there is a correct answer. There are no correct answers in this. So you have to make it engaging. You have to make it conversational. You have to keep checking with the interviewer if you are going wrong or if the interviewer is still with you. A lot of times I have seen the interviewee just going on and on a tangent and the interviewer is completely lost. Whereas a lot of times I have also seen the interviewee actually bringing the conversation into focus and asking interviewers if the points which he or she is making make sense or not. And this also gives the interviewer a chance to course correct if the interviewee is going in a different tangent. So make it conversational, make it engaging. That is very, very important. So now let's try and work it out using an example. Imagine if the question is, so tell me, how would you improve the experience of elderly people who are using Uber? Now your first instinct does not or should not be to actually look for solutions that, elderly people might have problem with eyesight or might have problem with the UI UX of this. They might have problem with the English language. Those are the things which typically come to our mind whenever a problem is thrown to us, but we have to resist that. The first thing you should do is rephrase the question and ask for more clarity. So when they are talking about elderly people, what age group are they talking about? Is there a specific gender they're talking about? Is there a particular country or city they're talking about? Get more and more clarity about the problem, as much clarity as you can. Now, having understood the problem well, it's always a good idea to take some time, ask for some time, and jot down your thoughts. It's always a good idea to link it back to the original vision of the product or of the organization. So you may say that Uber's vision is actually to provide transportation as easily as running water to everyone. And in that case, elderly population, which arguably would require transportation much more than anybody else. So it naturally fits well with the overall vision of the organization, and we should do whatever it takes in our capacity to improve the experience of elderly population so that they can use Uber more freely. So that is one. Then you can start pointing out the pain points which elderly people might have, or the use cases which you think might be there. So you can talk about the usability problems. You may also talk about the physical problem which they might have in coming in and out of a vehicle. You may talk about the use cases. There may be specific use cases which elderly people would have. So it just shows your if you are able to empathize with those set of users, and are you able to pin down those pain points and use cases clearly. Now, after having done that, and keep checking with the interviewer, by the way, keep checking if you are doing it right, and the interviewer may also add some value in this overall discussion. Now, once you have finalized the set of pain points and the use cases, then maybe pick one or two and say, to me, these are the most important ones. Maybe the usability issues, or maybe the payment problem you might think is the most important problem to be solved, and then go on to actually solve that problem. You may actually use, if the interview is happening online, then you can maybe use a shared screen to show some of the artifacts which you can create, or you can just quickly scribble on a paper and just show it. If it is happening offline, then it's all even more better. You can actually do it on a paper or on the whiteboard. Just do quick prototyping and wireframing of the screens and the flow which you think might be a good enough solution. And then coming back to the final set of metrics. So in this case, whether it is retention of the elderly population, how are you going to measure those? Is it going to be increased monetization? Is it going to be acquisition? So what is it that you wanted to measure? You should just mention those metrics, and the ways how are you going to measure the metrics, and conclude your answer with that one. So to summarize, these are the three things you have to do. First, keep it engaging, keep it conversational. Second, you have to take a lot of pauses, you have to ask a lot of questions. Remember, it doesn't show you as somebody who doesn't understand or who doesn't get it, but actually as somebody who is more thoughtful. Third, keep a structure, follow a method to the entire question and answering this. So you have a particular structure going, and I'm sure any product interview, you will crack it. See, I always say this, that cracking a product interview is very different from actually doing the work of a product manager. And mind you, doing the work of a product manager is far, far more difficult. So, and when I say that, I mean it. Because when you have to crack a particular product management interview, it is actually crackable because it has a formula. And if you have watched the video entirely, you will know exactly what I mean. If you follow this structure, if you follow this method, I am sure any product interview you will be able to crack. So this is it for today. The next video which I'm going to shoot is going to be on the second kind of product management interview questions, which is the analytical questions or the execution questions. Till then, be safe, be happy, and if you're liking the videos which I'm shooting, do subscribe to the channel and keep the comments going, because that will tell me what I need to work on and what is it that you are liking and not liking. Thank you so much.